Let's turn to our top focus tonight, where a big political fight has erupted after the Prime Minister today announced that in a national address, India's mission Shakti, claiming that India had finally test-fired a major anti-missile satellite. And that really led to questions being raised. The Congress party has claimed credit that they are responsible for India's space research program stretching back to Jawaharlal Nehru. Others have questioned whether the Prime Minister has misused his office to undermine the professional autonomy of the DRDO by actually addressing the nation and virtually claiming credit for the achievement. It's our other top story tonight. Ahead of the polls, did the Prime Minister use the achievement of our scientists for political publicity? Take a look.
भारत ने आज अपना नाम अंतरिक्ष महाशक्ति स्पेस पावर के रूप में दर्ज करा दिया है.
India has acquired the capability to launch missiles to destroy enemy satellites in orbit, making it the fourth nation after United States, China and Russia to have achieved this feat. But Prime Minister Modi's announcement of India's arrival as a space power days before polls opened the floodgates of politics. While the Congress rushed to take credit, calling it an UPA-era project, Party chief Rahul Gandhi mocked Modi, calling his announcement a poll eve drama. Congress's Ahmed Patel even credited Nehru for starting India's space program.
In the middle of the election, breaking the protocol where Prime Minister cannot use the media of television, of All India Radio, of Doordarshan and others, why is Prime Minister credit seeking for achievements of the scientists?
हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने
The left promptly moved the poll panel, calling the Modi announcement a violation of poll code.
5 साल लगे उनको अनुमति देने में. अब चुनाव का घोषणा हो गया, प्रचार शुरू हो गई, अब देते हो अनुमति. मतलब क्या है इसका? कौन कर रहा है राजनीतिकरण?
From West Bengal, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to National Conference's Omar Abdullah, the opposition too joined forces to take on Modi.
What was the need for Modi at the time of election to violate the model code of conduct, to take the credit? Is he worked there? Is he going to space? Or is he doing this DRDO work, or ISRO work, or space work? What is the publicity mongers here?
बेहतर ये होता कि इसका अनाउंसमेंट डीआरडीओ के चीफ करते और प्रधानमंत्री जी उनको बधाई देते ट्वीट के जरिए या बाइट देके. लेकिन जो उनका तरीका है, हर चीज का श्रेय खुद से लेने में लग जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी. तो उन्होंने खुद से राष्ट्र के नाम संदेश देने की बात कह के और सामने आके खुद इसका अनाउंसमेंट किया.
An unfazed BJP, however, hit back at the Congress for delaying the space weapon project and then slammed the opposition for calling the space mission a drama.
अप्रैल 2012 में कि डॉक्टर वीके सारस्वत ने यह कहा, we now have the capacity to develop and the desire to develop an anti-satellite missile, but the government has not permitted us to do so. तो इसलिए जो अपनी गलत पीठ थपथपाते हैं अपने फेलियर्स के लिए, उनको याद रहे कि उनकी जो कहानी है उसके फुटप्रिंट्स बहुत लंबे हैं.
BMD interceptor missile. Its task.
In a big boost to the government, former DRDO chief and architect of Mission Shakti also blamed the UPA for delaying the project.
When you do a nuclear explosion in 98, it was the political will and the courage and the decision-making power of the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee which helped us to take that decision. Same is the case when we did the Agni 5, but we did not get the clearance for the ASAT at that time, and our present Honorable Prime Minister and the National Security Advisor Mr. Doval had the real appreciation of the need for such a thing, and they took the decision, and our DRDO scientists have been able to demonstrate the capability based upon the decisions which were given to them.
So, is Modi trying to appropriate laurels for the space mission, or is it the opposition which is politicizing it? Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me now on my talking point, did the Prime Minister end up taking credit where he could have easily stayed away from the event? Has he undermined the professional autonomy of DRDO scientists and the institutions? I'm joined by Sandeep Unithan, Executive Editor, India Today, who's tracked these missile programs in the past. Sanjay Jha, National Spokesperson of the Congress. Narendra Taneja, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Before I come to the politicians, I want a word in because I know what's going to happen once the politicians take over, Sandeep. In your experience, what happened today, was it in a sense breaking with convention? Is it true that normally the DRDO scientists actually conduct such press conferences, or was this an exceptional situation?
Well, actually, Rajdeep, it's a combination of both. Normally, weapon tests like this are usually confirmed by the DRDO chief. And this has been the precedent in recent years. But then let's not forget that last year, in November 2018, Prime Minister Modi made that great announcement about the deterrent patrol of the Arihant, which is a very big strategic leap, that you announce a fact that you have a nuclear submarine that had undertaken a deterrent patrol with nuclear weapons. So you could see this as a similar announcement, that you've announced the fact that you have a strategic capability now to knock down enemy satellites in space.
Interesting the way you're putting it, because Narendra Taneja, while the Prime Minister has in the past tended to make such announcements, before he took over in 2014, and in general it was the DRDO or ISRO scientists who make these announcements, and the Prime Minister of the time would give a congratulatory tweet. Now, 2 weeks before the elections, first to tell the nation at noon I'm going to make a major announcement, then make this announcement. Was this not at some level of violation, as is being suggested by the Prime Minister's critics, as a violation of the protocol? Did the Prime Minister try to appropriate or own the credit that is due to our scientists?
No, Rajdeep, it depends how you look at it. If you really want to make an issue out of it, I mean, one is free to do that. But the fact is, what India has achieved today, the Republic of India, your country, my country, our scientists, what they have achieved today is absolutely magnificent. Is something that the entire country is proud of. When you achieve something of that, size, that magnitude, you need to convey it powerfully to first to your own people, but also to the world. And since the Prime Minister also happens to be the minister responsible for space and atomic issues, he just decided to go and convey this big, splendid achievement of our great scientists and engineers in DRDO to the people of the country. He conveyed that as the Prime Minister of the country, as the Prime Minister, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Prime Minister, Mr. Sitaram Yechury, Prime Minister of Mamata Banerjee also, as the Prime Minister. So important point here is that, I mean, you can always say, no, he should have been done by this person, that person. You are free to have your views on that. But here the fact is the Prime Minister did that because Prime Minister thought it's important to convey it as powerfully as you can for both for your people, but also for those people.
Did it have anything to do with the elections or not, sir? My straight direct question, Mr. Taneja. Mr. Taneja, did it have anything to do with the election schedule? 2 weeks before the election schedule, the Prime Minister chooses to address the nation on an issue which normally could have been easily handled by the DRDO team.
Rajdeep, you are entitled to, as I said, you are entitled to your view, your interpretation. But what does it, he is the Prime Minister of the country. He didn't speak as the leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He is the Prime Minister of the country, addressed his people. He is the Prime Minister.
Okay.
So that's what he did. So why do you bring in BJP into it? Why do you bring in this petty politics? What does the politics of the election have to do with it?
Sanjay Jha, respond to what Narendra Taneja is saying. Why bring in petty politics? This is a day to celebrate the achievements of our scientists. This is not a day to target Prime Minister Modi or indeed the BJP.
Rajdeep, I think the people of India by now are aware of Narendra Modi's political track record of appropriating credit. He does that when there's a surgical strike, he will take credit. Now he's taking it away from the space scientists. I mean, he takes the credit of UPS growth and he will say, I'm the fastest growing world economy. But, I would say today what we saw, using state machinery at the time of elections and in such a brazen fashion, all the melodrama, I mean, Narendra Modi is, really a self-obsessed megalomaniac. I mean, you can't do that. You're a prime minister. It's an august office. And, it was, in my opinion, I'll be blunt with you, and it's time we were not politically correct. It was a manifestation of a very vulgar conduct. The scientists have done a wonderful job. Please let them bring it to public notice. You're the Prime Minister. You're the one who talked about plastic surgery in the time of Lord Ganesha. Your thoughts are regressive. This is a government that talks about internet in the times of Mahabharata, of the fact that somebody, started the aeroplane centuries ago. And now suddenly, in the middle of the elections have already been announced, Narendra Modi suddenly discovers the power of R&D. By the way, the UPA already had
the minister in charge of the Department of Space.
And
he's the minister. He's the minister in charge of the Department of Space. That's the argument being made. He is the nodal minister. And according to Narendra Taneja, he was speaking as the Prime Minister of the country, not as the leader of the BJP.
Well, let me tell you very frankly, Rajdeep, what is the truth? The truth is very, very hard. And that is that over the last several days, which means more than one, the narrative, the political narrative in India has gone back to where it should be. Issues of jobs, the scheme, the minimum income guarantee, people are asking questions of rural distress. And I'm going back to what Mr. L.K. Advani famously said about Narendra Modi. He will do anything in the world to change a headline. And I thought today when, everybody was anxiously waiting, fortunately he's not allowed to do demonetization all over again. He makes his very, melodramatic entry in a recorded speech, which was not even live, by the way, and takes credit for what the scientists should be given a value and respect.
You have to give me some time to rebut.
I don't know whether the Prime Minister took credit, but the optics of it, Narendra Taneja, suggests that the Prime Minister in some way was trying to send out a message that he, in a sense, was part of this mission which had been accomplished today. And that perhaps at election time could lead to suggestion that it's a violation of the code of conduct. The timing.
You see, Rajdeep, my Congress spokesperson is using the personal attacks from the Prime Minister, calling it vulgar conduct. Look at the kind of language. I can understand the frustration of Congress party. I can understand it. But I'm sorry, we can't help it. You see, the fact is, this is something achieved by our great scientists, by DRDO, these great institutions in the country. They should be celebrating. The country is celebrating.
Institutions incidentally built by Jawaharlal Nehru, Narendra Taneja.
Which is extremely unfortunate.
Institutions built by Jawaharlal Nehru. Institutions built by Jawaharlal, the much derided Jawaharlal Nehru.
Look, first of all, Rajdeep, you have to give me some time. I admire Pandit Nehru. He did great job. Pandit Nehru built many institutions in the country, no doubt about it. But as far as the space program, atomic program is concerned, I just want you to do a very simple thing. Go to Google and search when Dr. Homi Bhabha established TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, 1945. India was making aeroplanes at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited
62
even
ISRO.
in 1940. Okay. India was making ships. Listen. Can I correct? I'm saying no. These organizations happened later, but it was Dr. Homi Bhabha who started his space and atomic program 2 years before India's independence.
Okay.
And Indian Institute of Science, where the whole thing started, it was set up in 1909 when Pandit Nehru was a kid, probably. Now, but I'm not saying Pandit Nehru contributed. Our space program, our defense program, DRDO, these have been evolving over the decades and years.
Okay.
And Pandit Nehru, Indira ji, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, now Narendra, we have all contributed. The people have contributed. But the last line, Rajdeep, last line. But it is the decisive and powerful and clear leadership and concern for national security. What has happened today is thanks to the decisive leadership of Pandit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Okay, let me take that to Sanjay Jha.
Mr.
Sanjay Jha, is it not true, and I'll get Sandeep on this also, is it not true that this program was conceptualized in 2012? We had the capability in 2012 according to Dr. Saraswat of DRDO, but at that time the political leadership decided for whatever reason not to actually execute it. Today Mr. Modi has done so. To that extent, he can once again claim credit.
Well, let me tell you, the most critical part, Rajdeep, was building the capability. And the capability was established, created, and actually at that point in time confirmed during the time of Dr. Manmohan Singh and the UPA as Prime Minister. Now, let me tell you the fundamental point. Mr. Saraswat actually needs to be a lot more honest here with facts. He himself has gone on record to say that the achievement under the UPA was a game changer. These are his words. And he also mentions that it is appropriate that we do not weaponize space. That end of day, the debris that can happen can actually damage other satellites. So he actually basically backed Dr. Manmohan Singh in saying that we should remember that this outer space needs to be used for peaceful purposes. Now here is Narendra Modi testing it when the elections have been announced. Can you imagine? And you know, then he comes on television after making the world wait and appropriating national attention for an hour and makes an announcement which the scientists should be doing.
Okay.
I think it's even a kindergarten child will know that Narendra Modi looks so desperate for publicity that he is going to any level at this point to try and, you know, hog the limelight for as long as he can.
Sandeep,
I mean, these are
Sandeep Unithan, was there a philosophical question taken in 2012 by the UPA government at the time that they did not want to weaponize space? Was that the reason why it was not executed?
Most likely, Rajdeep, because I interviewed Dr. Saraswat in 2012, where he explained the fact that they had actually put all the building blocks for an anti-satellite capability in place. And I remember very clearly him telling me that at that point, that we may actually need this capability at some point in the future, but as of now, the government of the day does not see the need for anti-satellite capability. But he says that we've perfected all the technologies, we have the interceptors in place, we have the missiles, and we have the radars in place. So if any future government wants, that's what he seemed to indicate. And and it's a political call, Rajdeep.
It's a political call. Therefore, let me ask you then in conclusion, Narendra Taneja, was this in some way occasioned by the fact that 2 days ago Rahul Gandhi goes and announces the Nyay program, the minimum income guarantee, the headlines are with Rahul Gandhi, the Prime Minister wanted the headlines to return to him. That this was about headline management is what the critics are saying today. Your final response.
No. You know, this kind of mission takes weeks, if not months of preparation, Rajdeep. Ask them very ordinary scientists, I will share with you. The fact is, in terms of whether the space should be weaponized or not, those decisions are not taken by DRDO chief. These are political decisions taken by political leadership. They didn't have guts. Now China has weaponized, Russia has done that, US has done it, Israel is very close to doing it. Just look at the press release of the Pakistan Foreign Office just 30 minutes ago, what they are saying. Their language, their concern and Congress are identical. Absolutely identical. India is celebrating. India is happy. 1.30 billion Indians are celebrating that we have joined this exclusive club of only 4 countries. Countries celebrating. Those who have got heartburns, they can go to some doctors.
I condemn that stupid, outrageous comment. I condemn that stupid, outrageous, obtuse comment. We should apologize. We should apologize for making such a ridiculous
small mind.
I mean,
small minds will remain always small minds.
Don't behave like Narendra Modi. Don't behave like Narendra Modi.
Okay.
कभी
small minds will always remain small minds. Small minds will always remain. Frustration.
Okay, let's leave it there.
Your language in Pakistan is identical. Look at the press release of Pakistan Foreign Office.
No, let's leave it there.
Your language in Pakistan identical.
No, whenever someone now...
India is celebrating and they
look at Narendra Modi is a megalomaniac. Narendra Modi is a megalomaniac and India has seen through it.
And your language...
India has seen through Narendra Modi.
Gentlemen,
Pakistan Foreign Office language, Sanjay Jha's language identical.
Okay, fade out, producer, fade her out. There comes a time when we've got to go back to the studio away from the noise. Let's take a break. Thank you all very much for joining me.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.